I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me for my Try It Out Tuesday. Today we are going to create a masculine card using these two items here. One's the Love You Die set from MFT, and then the other one is called Tool Charms from MFT. Now I picked these up a while ago during a retirement sale, so I'm not sure if they're available, but if they are, I'll list them down below. But they are super fun. In fact, for today's card, any kind of sentiment die that you have would probably work, and you can customize it even if you have a large alphabet and create the word dad. I think that would be great. So versatile card here today. So we're going to jump in. I'm going to take some Stick It adhesive here. I'm going to add a piece of gray cardstock to the Stick It adhesive, and then we're just going to trim it down. I'm using Stick It adhesive, but you could use double-sided tape if you'd like. I'm going to add a piece of fun foam behind this panel. I wanted the Love You to be popped up on my card, and I found this is the best way to do that. Just press it down really good. I'm going to trim off, I'm going to burnish that Stick It adhesive behind my cardstock really fast, and then I can add my foam. The fun foam that I'm using are sheets. I think they're, let's see, they are 9 by 12 inch sheets, and I get them on Amazon, but they're great for backing up panels also. So once that's adhered, I'm going to trim off the excess. I don't want no sticky adhesive exposed when I run this through my die cut machine. My plates are pretty bad as it is, and I was afraid the stickiness would just make them worse. So I'm going to die cut out the word Love You with the foam, and then also on another piece of gray cardstock, and then also on a piece of black cardstock. For my tools, I'm going to bring in some silver cardstock. We're going to die cut out that tool set 2 times, and they do separate. If you use your little tool that you use to separate your dies, you can separate the dies, but I just chose to keep them together. But I die cut everything out, 2 sets with the silver, 2 sets with the white cardstock, and then 2 gray Love Yous, 1 with foam, and then 1 without foam, and then 1 Love You with black cardstock. Okay, I'm just punching out the little extra pieces here. And again, any kind of sentiment die that you have that's a block letter, I think would work great. For the white tools, I put a piece of Post-it tape behind it just to secure them in that cardstock, because we're going to color on that, and that just makes it really easy. I'm going to punch out all my foam letters here. And once we have this done, what I'm going to do is sandwich the gray Love You on the foam. So basically it's going to be it looks like a little sandwich cookie. That gray is on the outside edge, and you have the white fun foam in the middle. Now this is probably a little bit overkill, but when you tilt the card, the layers that you do this with, it really looks neat, and it does add stability to your project. So I'm just going to go through every letter here and sandwich my foam between there, finishing off with the U, and we'll set those aside to dry. Okay, now we're going to color in our tools here with our white cardstock. I left the colors on the left side here for you guys, but I'm just coloring in the handle portion of all these tools. Starting off with a hammer, I'm using some browns. I thought the brown would be nice, kind of like a wood effect. And I'm just doing a little bit of shading with 3 different colors of browns. And then for the screwdriver, we'll bring in some bright colors. I thought we'd bring in some red. And again, we're going to use 3 different shades, starting off with R59, and then we're going to add a little bit of the RV29, and then finish it off with R14. And just the handle again. We're going to end up just cutting out the handle, and then we're going to place the handle on our silver tools. For the little saw handles, we're using some blue greens. The saws were a little tricky to color in just the handle, so I kind of just eyeballed it. No. Okay, once these are all done, I'm just going to punch them out. And these are our little tools. Now later on I do end up doing this same process with one more set of tools. I wanted a couple extra, so I did the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to use my craft pick, and we're going to, there's little, since it is a charm, you can thread, maybe twine or string through them. There are little holes in each one of these, so I'm just punching it out with my craft pick through the silver ones and the colored in ones. The silver ones, I left the hole inside the hammer, that little piece inside the hammer. Now I'm going to use my scissors and trim off the top of the handles, and then using glue I'll just attach that to the silver handle, or the silver tool here. And then we have a colored in tool with silver accent, and I think they look super cute. Okay, we'll do the saw, add a little glue to the silver handle, and then we're going to trim off our colored in portion and just adhere it. So they're all done. And I almost threw away my saw there, but I caught it. I'm not going to use the white wrenches that we die cut out. If you wanted to color those in and use them a little bit later on inside the card, you could do that. Now I'm using a Snap Basics paper pad. If you're looking for a wood grain paper pad, this one is really nice. And I did find it, and I'll link it down below. But I'm just going to cut out a panel that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 using a stitched rectangle die. This is going to leave me a little bit of a white border on my card base. Once our panel is cut out, I'm going to adhere this to our card base. Our card base is top folding white A2 size card base. Lovely. Okay, now taking our gray love sandwich letters, we are going to kind of position them in the center of our panel. And I did want to place them a little bit wonky. And I'm playing around with the placement first, and then just using my glue, I'll end up gluing them directly to my panel. And I think that's going to look great. And we have the O and the U left here. We're just going to add these. And again, any kind of block letter die that you have would work fantastic. Okay, now when you tilt it to the side, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but you can see that sandwich, and I think it looks really neat. Okay, now we get to add the fun part. We get to add our little tool charms. I'm going to start off by adding a layer of glue to each one of my letters, and then using the black Love You, we're going to adhere our tools to those. We're going to add a screwdriver to our L, and we're going to place this on the outside of the L. And then I'm going to place my black L on top of the gray one, but I'm offsetting it just a little bit, like it's a little bit of a shadow. And then for the O, I thought it'd be fun to take the wrench and kind of tuck it on the inside of the O. Just add a little bit of glue and tuck it in there. And then we'll place this on our gray O, kind of offsetting it again. And we're just going to kind of basically repeat the process. For the V, I thought we'd add a little saw. Add a little glue behind there so it doesn't move. And then we can add that to our V. And then the E, we're going to add our little hammer. Fun way to add a little masculine details to your card. I thought this would be so fun. And actually I was inspired by the hubby likes to watch the home improvement show, and so this is where I kind of thought their little intro to that show showed something similar to this. I think it was a house, but I thought that would make a great little card. So that's where I kind of got this idea. I'm going to adjust this little wrench a little bit so the handle's positioned just a little bit different. And I think that looks so fun. Okay, now I have one screwdriver left. We could put it on the inside, but I wanted to finish off the outside. I'm going to bring down some of that red. You have the red screwdriver handle on top, and I wanted to bring one on the bottom. And here's where I thought, well, we need a few more extra tools. So I went in and did the same process and cut out a hammer, a saw, and a wrench. I wanted a hammer right above that O. So just using my glue, I'll go ahead and attach that. Okay, and then for these two, I thought, well, we'll just put them on the inside. We'll decorate the inside. We'll just crisscross them on that bottom right corner. And I think that looks fun. Finishing off the inside is always nice. Okay, now I want to show you guys how easy it is to create little screw tops. I'm using a same piece of silver cardstock, and I'm going to take my scoring board. I'm going to score down the middle here, and I'm going to flip my cardstock over, and then we're going to make basically grid lines. And I'm only going to do 4 because we're going to punch out just 4 tops. But super easy to do. The score lines help. Now, if next I'm going to take a 1/2 inch circle punch. I think punches are important to create your little screw tops. If you use a circle die and run this through your die cut machine, I think the score lines would flatten and it wouldn't give as great of an effect. But all you do is just punch out the crisscrosses, making sure that the X is in the center, and it creates a super fun screw. Easy peasy too. I also wanted to show you, if you don't have a 1/2 inch hole punch, you could use just a regular hole punch. I'm just going to place my little silver grid back in my scoreboard. I'm going to score it one more time, creating another row of crisscrosses, and then, like I said, using a regular little hole punch, you could punch out. It's a little bit tougher lining up the centers of your crisscrosses, but if you punch them out, it creates itty bitty little screws. I thought that, so something easy to do to add a little bit of extra detail to your cards. Just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, I know they have brads that look like screws, but if you don't, I don't have any of those, so I improvised here. So next I'm going to take my little screw tops here. We're going to add a little glue behind them and just arrange them, kind of doing a little tucking. This one here, I really had my U down to my panel and it wouldn't tuck, so I'm going to use my scissors and trim off a portion of this one, and then we'll do a little tucking, fake tucking here. Then we'll add our last 2. I was happy with the way this turned out. Masculine cards are a little bit tough for me to come up with ideas, but can't go wrong with barbecues or tools. So I thought this was a great card. And again, you could customize your sentiment. You could put love you dad, you could put brother. I know the alphabet dies out there about the same size. So, and again, anything that I can find, guys, I'll list down below in the description area. Now for finishing touches, I'm going over my tool handles, the colored in ones. I didn't do the hammers, but the saws and screwdrivers I went over with glossy accents, and it goes on cloudy, but will dry clear. But that's my card for today, guys. Hope this gives you some inspiration on how to make a masculine card. I wish you a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.